Bonjour. I fooled you with that one. That says, I just said hello a la française, naturellement. Okay. I'm going to stop talking French. But that is French for hello. And I love the French language. I really do. I started studying it when I was about 12 years old. And I've been infatuated ever since. Not only is it the language of love, ooh la la, but I mean, I just like the way it sounds. I really do. And I am of French heritage, so maybe it just comes easier for me, but I love it. So anyway, now, watching me, you're starting to learn another language. Whew! This is going to be a very educational series, I can tell you that. I would like to bring you back in time and talk about my father's siblings. His oldest brother was Ray. My father was the second, Bill. Then there was Betty, then Elizabeth, Benjamin, Donald, and David. Wow. 7 children they had. I believe my grandmother was one of 11, and this is all on my father's side now. So I want to talk about this one incident with Donald. Well, all the men were good looking. You know, it's sort of like the Kennedys, where all the men were really very good looking, but the girls were not so. I mean, they were kind of average. I'd say maybe plain Jane. And every one of them was dead on. That's how beautiful, gorgeous, handsome. Anyway, I can remember looking at Uncle Donald's eyes. He had the longest lashes of any person I've ever seen in my life. And they curled up just beautifully. Of course, now he had dark hair. My father was the only blonde, I think. Aunt Betty might have been blonde. But all the rest were dark hair. They were dark hair. And I was just amazed, and I'm thinking, and then I'm looking at my father. Well, it wasn't like Uncle Donald's, but I'm looking at the girls. They had nothing. No lashes at all. How does that work? Anyway, I bring Donald up because he was another character. He got in trouble. I know he got in trouble. And he met this beautiful girl along the line. Of course, they married. It was Aunt Joan. Oh, boy. She was another just stunningly beautiful girl. Oh, my gosh. I would look at her, and I would think, oh, she's just beautiful. And she was. And they had a young baby boy, and it was Donnie. And one day, Uncle Donald went golfing. Apparently he loved to golf, and this is a day that he was going to golf. And out he went. And he was golfing with some buddies. And the story goes that he started not feeling so good during the golf tournament. And I'm not sure if he finished it or not. But as time went on, I know it was said that he just felt worse and worse and worse. How he got home, I don't know. I don't know if they had a car. I don't know. But he went home. Well, my Aunt Joan was coming home from work. She opened the front door of their house. The whole house was demolished. Like a tornado went through the house. And she could hear Donald. And obviously he must have been upstairs because she ran up the steps. And he looked like a wild man. He was upstairs, trashing upstairs and just screaming and yelling and just scared her to death. I know she ran out of the house quickly. And she called, well, I know the police were called, whether she called them or not. And I know my grandmother, my father's mother, whose name is Sarah, I know they got there and he was taken in an ambulance to the hospital. And just like, you know, I mean, what the heck? What the heck? You know, what's going on? I'm not sure if he had encephalitis. I don't think it was meningitis. But I know whatever disease that was, it affected his brain. And he went stark, raving mad in less than 24 hours. He was in the hospital in a straitjacket from head to toe because he was lashing. I mean, he was just, his body was jerking and it kept jerking and it was just, he was out of control. And so they put him in a straitjacket. It's the first time I ever heard of a straitjacket. And the only people that were really allowed in his room was his mother, Sarah, and of course, my grandpa Raymond. I know my dad wasn't there. I know Aunt Joan was there. I don't know who else was there. There might have been other family members there. And overnight, he passed away. Huh. I can remember the upset of our family. Oh, the whole family was devastated. I couldn't believe it either. How could this happen? You get sick and then you go crazy and then you die? Whatever germ got in him or whatever virus was in him was deadly. No one else got it. Aunt Joan didn't get it. Donnie didn't get it. None of his friends that were there golfing with him got it. Whatever got him did him in. He was all about 21 years old. And I can remember my grandmother, Sarah, saying at one point in time when I was with her that was the worst day of her life. But that wasn't the only child that died. Long, long ago, Benjamin was born. He was very sickly. He was very sickly, and they didn't know what was wrong with him. And he wasn't having any bowel movements. And he got worse and worse and worse. Never one bowel movement. And about 1 month old, he died. Now keep that in mind because there's another story about that coming up. Not soon, but it's coming up. It's pretty important concerning our family. I don't know, all these deaths. And then Papa, my beloved Papa, got hit by a car at work. And they said the car, you know, the car hit him and so hard that he flew I don't know how many feet. They said he went up in the air and flew a good distance from that car. Well, the next thing I know, he's in the hospital. Of course, I wasn't there. I couldn't see him. He had to have immediate surgery. Something obviously was not right inside. I don't know what it was. I really don't. And as the story goes, they opened him up and closed him right away. Papa was filled with cancer. He was filled with cancer. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna lose my papa. What am I gonna do without papa? And my mom wasn't feeling too good either, really. There was things happening with her that I noticed wasn't right. But she wasn't dying, not like papa. It took him 3 months to pass away. I remember visiting him in the hospital. I was 12 years old. I went by myself. I got myself there, all by myself, and I would visit him in the hospital. And one day he died. I was devastated. Oh, my papa died. I couldn't believe it. And there was the funeral. I'll never forget that. And then there was the funeral dinner at my Aunt Mildred's. There was lots of people there, I remember. Lots of people, there was lots of food, and there was lots of laughter. And I remember sitting down, and I remember looking around. And everybody was having a great time. Laughing, and telling jokes. And all of a sudden, everybody's demeanor went from one extreme, sadness, to that of happiness. Did they forget that my pop-pop had just died? I sat there. I know I sat there, and I was beside myself. How could this happen? Everybody should be sad. My pop-pop just died. I sat there the whole time. I didn't move. There was food there to eat, and I loved my food, but I couldn't eat it. And that was my memory of his funeral dinner. And it angered me so much afterwards. It really did. But as time went on, I realized, so that's how funerals are. You're real sad at the church or the, funeral parlor or wherever you're being laid out. And then at the dinner, everybody relaxes and have fun. I still can't understand it to this day. I cannot understand that. Boy, if you can, please send me a comment. I would really like to know. The thinking behind that. This has been a very sad episode for me, recalling these memories. So much pain at so early of an age. So much death. Everybody was dying. I really realized I was going to die someday too. But I knew that was going to be a long, long, long way off. Next time, girls' high school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What do you hear about that story? Bye.